Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how you can go from this to this using Dehancer and DaVinci Resolve. Make sure to use my promo code HUUP10 to get a 10% discount on Dehancer. Okay, what I first want to take a look at is how I set up this project, how I use the node tree and how I set up the color settings. I've set it up like this. The timeline color space is DaVinci Wide Gamut Intermediate and the output color space is Rec. 709 Gamma 2.4. The reason I do that is because if you set the timeline color space to this, all the tools inside of DaVinci will use that color space. And that comes in handy later on. The output color space is set to Rec. 709 Gamma 2.4 because I want to output in that color space and my monitor is also calibrated to that. Now let's go over the node tree. I first start with the color space transform to transform the footage into the wide gamut intermediate, and that way later on all the nodes will use that color space till we get to this color space transform and we transform it back to Rec. 709 Gamma 2.4. And after that I use the Dehancer plugin to get all the film emulation stuff. Okay, let's go over the nodes one by one. Turn everything off. First let's enable the color space transform and the output color space transform. And now it's like the normal Rec. 709 look. I can tweak the exposure a bit using the HDR wheels. I've lifted the global exposure, and as you can see it's set to the timeline color space, and we know that is wide gamut intermediate. On the contrast node I did nothing, saturation nothing. All these nodes are just empty. This is an extra node empty. These nodes I use for power grades, also not used in this one. The texture node, it's empty. Spare node, and then the Dehancer node. Let's go over all the things I used in the Dehancer node. The source is Rec. 709 because we set it up like this. I left this all the way it was. Use the 500T film stock. Enable the film compression. Use the expand to fix some of the exposure and the black and white points. Then if you come over to the print film, I use the KODAK print film with the target white all the way to the left to get the warm look I wanted. I used a bit of contrast, got all the way with the color density and enabled the analog range limiter to get it a bit more soft and not that harsh looking. I did not use the color heads and enabled the film grain and the halation and also a tiny bit of gate weave. Yeah, that's basically the whole look I made. Yeah, not that spectacular in terms of settings, but it works really nice I think with the Arri footage. Let's go over to the next clip. In this clip I used the exact same node tree, but I did some additional adjustments like the power window over here to lift up the moon sign in the corner. Other than that, yeah, just the same Dehancer settings I used on all the shots. Yeah, on this shot I did a bit more work. I lifted the exposure a bit and lowered the saturation a tiny bit. And then I lifted the shadows a bit more and the darks in the HDR wheels. Used a bit of noise reduction. And then in the power windows I lifted the left side exposure and shadows to make the shot more balanced. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, these shots turned out a bit difficult to color grade, so let's go over all the nodes. First, the color space transform and Dehancer. As you can see, it's way too red. I think I messed up the white balance, so let's fix that. And also the exposure, I all did that in the HDR wheels. Lowered the saturation a bit and fixed up the blue hue coming from the windows using some curve adjustments. The hue saturation curve and the hue luminance curve. Used a bit of noise reduction, none of the power windows, and yeah, that's the final look. Just another example of a pretty basic shot. I just raised the exposure a bit and yeah, that's it. The same Dehancer look I got. On this shoot we also used the Blackmagic Pocket 4K camera. Yeah, because of the way I set up the node tree, I only have to change the input color space and the rest speaks for itself. The HDR wheels, the rest of the nodes all work the same. And from there we still go from the wide gamut intermediate to Rec 709 2.4 into the Dehancer node. These shots are also a bit more difficult to color grade, so let's see. Turn on the color space transforms and Dehancer. Yeah, look how red these turned out, so let's fix that. Bit of balancing and exposure. Still a bit more white balance tweaks. And then a power window on the right to make the shot more evenly lit. Because the light is coming from the right, but it's more bright on his face than her face. And then the last shot. This is from the end of the movie. All we did here to light it is a pretty normal household lamp on the left and some daylight on the right. Let's go over all the nodes. Let's enable the color space transforms. And then Dehancer. Some balancing and exposure. Turn down the saturation. Bit of noise reduction. Yeah, that's pretty much it. As you can see, the blacks are really crushed. Some won't like that look, but I think it looks like real film does. The film stock 500T does really crush the shadows and has a bit of a harsh look in the shadows, but that's the way I like to color grade it and the look we were going after. I hope you liked this video. Make sure to use my promo code HUUT10 to get 10% off, and yeah, see you in the next video. Hope it doesn't take as long as the previous one. Okay, bye.